Hey guys, good morning. Happy Sunday. Here we go. It's legal to buy and sell children as long as they're small. This is about in vitro fertilization. I've gone over this before, but these people are being treated as slaves. Sorry, excuse me, this commercial on here is a little bit. All right. Children created during in vitro fertilization can be disposed of for potential flaws, evaluated for desirable characteristics, experimented upon, and bought and sold. Abortion is not the only legalized medical procedure that hurts and harms children. In vitro fertilization and assisted reproductive technology the fertility industry uses for begetting children, ironically and sadly, results in the deaths of more children than actual live births. Well, first of all, they fake your death so that they can torture you. But literally, they allow rape and torture of children. And, you're always trying to find the, who's behind the thing, right? It's the LDS Church, because there is an organization in Utah that hides who has the legal authority on these plots of land that they own that are actually children. And what they'll do is they'll have people infiltrate your life, pose as friends that really they're not who they pretend to be. They're actually, when you go into their aliases and who they actually are, they work either for the army or for the federal government in some way and are OBGYNs and or, the directors of some nonprofit that is located in Arizona, but actually existing overseas. It'll be some elaborate scheme. But who's behind it? All right, the people infiltrating your life and posing as friends, you can look to them and say, look, are they raising my baby? I mean, they could be. They could be. They could be. So IVF in vitro is Latin for in glass, through the looking glass. I found looking glass on many documents, you guys. Looking glass. And during IVF, egg follicles are removed from a woman and mixed with a man's sperm in a petri dish with the aim that they will fertilize. And they do this through Duke University, calling these people either crossbreeds, half-breeds, or thoroughbred horses, owned by somebody at Duke University. All right, now, who would know that you can own a child as a horse? Well, you can, through this law. Upon fertilization, one or more of the embryonic children created are then transferred into a woman's uterus in hopes that they will implant. All right, so then you will have a surrogate, I guess, woman. But that is not the end of the way the law works. Because there are only 29.4% success rate of implantation, doctors usually create several children in glass at once to have more on hand for further implantation attempts. So, treating human beings like slaves to be raped and tricked. Now, this is something you need to understand. If they're depriving you the right to work in America, and then you have a Karen Tucker on your hands, who I met through the Grill on the Alley, owned by the Spivaks, I can't think of his first name, with the California Restaurant Association. Karen Tucker invites you to get ice cream at, I don't remember, Swanson's or Swenson's. And she knows you don't have money, nor the means to pay for what you've just ordered. So she says, she looks in her wallet and pretends she doesn't have money either. And remember, I've attached Karen Tucker not only to the Veterans Association, where she was being paid to sterilize and castrate women, but also to the Scientology through this one acting association I think I showed you a while ago. And so Karen Tucker opens her wallet. She's invited you to lunch. Then she says, I don't have any money. And you knew at the whole time you didn't have any money. So she says, we have to dine and ditch. But she actually works for Swanson's. So what she does is she reports back that you dined and ditched and stole, I mean, this is when, you're a kid and you don't know that she is actually an agent entrapping you for the federal government, for their interest in getting these glass babies that they can rape and torture and experiment on, because they're going to claim that you, the mother, would not be fit for the child. And then they withhold the rights of the children. Now, this is what I've seen in these documents that they're filing first in San Bernardino County. Then they're moving it to Riverside Court, where you find the documents themselves claiming that through AIEA, they're withholding the right of the child. Now, this document I showed you guys yesterday, it said the person was not fit to make their own medical decisions, that Ryan A. Promise Jr., but they were fit to vote. So they're saying that they are a citizen in America, but they have no legal rights under the conservatorship. And I watched the Britney Spears conservatorship. I really recommend you watch it. It's on YouTube. I think it's called Framing Britney Spears. Okay. Now, framing is entrapment, but you have to track who these people are and where they work. And if they're nurses and or medical providers, that means that they work for the federal government. And if they're OBGYNs, they're taking your organs to make these glass children. And they treat human beings like slaves. Now, this is why any time I was good at something, my sister and my mother would break into my room, read my notes, and try to gather evidence against me because of a hate crime against you. They then can bring cases and charges against you without your knowledge when you're a kid. And so this is, an ongoing thing. Never mind rapes. Never mind bullying, never mind the broken arms my sister gave me, never mind the black eyes I went to school with, never mind the rape by Donna Lako when I was invited to sleep over, or her Croatian, background, or all of the things that you can find that show these embryonic children in glass. Did you know they're being genetically whole human beings? And I know there's a lot online talking about selling fetal tissue. They're not selling it. They're creating children with it. So, I mean, these Planned Parenthoods are not I do not believe they're what they appear to be. I believe that they are taking children out and then selling a slave. They are not. So you might, if you ever, God forbid, if you ever had to get an abortion for any reason and you went to do this, you might have a child out there being raped and tortured by federal agents because they're owned as slaves. And then through AIEA, one of the most evil organizations in the world that I've ever found, they strip the child the right to know that their parents are actually also born in glass and that they're good people. They are no longer the father or mother, but have a material composition and behavior pattern distinct from both parents. Yet they have no legal rights of their own in this country. That is, they have the right to be created, but not the right to live. I mean, what the hell? At the whim of a parent, doctor, or technician, these children can be graded by appearance for their viability, genetically tested for their sex, chromosomal abnormalities and diseases, discarded for their potential flaws, cryopreserved in liquid nitrogen to be stored, used, adopted, donated, tested, or killed. Murder, you guys. This is not normal. This is what it's a loophole in the law. inserted into potentially inhospitable conditions in utero, and if part of multiple pregnancies, selectively terminated and sacrificed for the vitality of a perceived stronger brother or sister in the womb. These children also, because of a complete lack of regulation in the fertility industry, have no legal right to know who their biological parents are. And that is where I've shown you these cases again and again. In Riverside County, where they're claiming that the biological parents are abusive or that they came from overseas when they really were born right here. Nor do they have any legal access to their genetic medical history. At the very least, IVF disrespects the personhood of these children created in the looking glass. All right. So there's 600,000 children subjected to abuse, slavery, rape, and torture because they were made IVF. That's crazy. That's crazy. Your own child to love, cherish, sell, abuse, rape, and torture. How did this happen? They hate children, and they feel powerful harming children. That is sick. And it goes through the LDS Church in this new organization I found, which is a homeowners association. When I show you that contract, you are not going to believe the people that infiltrated my life and then gave me a gift and then wrote this contract, never paid me for work performed, by the way. Work I performed. I'm always asked to take photographs and they never pay me because I have no legal rights in America. And some of these people are attached to USCIS, which is the immigration office. So when you look at the conservation, what are the not conservation, the conservatorship documents, it claims eligible for removal, meaning removal from citizenship, to be used in that non-immigration status, even if you're born right here. So that's when they attach you to Korea and they sell you to a Korean agent, which I found on a lot of the horse documents I've been looking at, where the true owner or breeder is like a Korean doctor or a doctor in Tokyo or somebody at Duke University that's actually someone that posed as your educator. All right. So this is crazy. I mean, this is crazy. So if you don't have rights as IVF, you still have rights as, you have rights to your own art. You have rights to things you've made. So you think about this carefully. IVF now lists third-party reproduction among its top abuses. They can purchase every ingredient needed to produce a child. And so they meet with you and study your attributes and then select that they want to bear your child without your consent. And you don't know these are federal agents. So that's entrapment. And these agents are very, very evil. They're very evil to do this to a child because the child is going to be forever a slave. It's different than the way people talk about these baby farms. I mean, they're doing it to real people. And I don't even know if all of the people that are born this way, that are treated as slaves and abused and raped, are actually IVFs, or they just pretend they are, as you saw in that one contract, where they can edit your genetic history at will as a hate crime against you because of your genetics. So I also found this. Delicia Mitchell is on one of these documents. The creditor is State of California Employment Development Department. Remember, I found that on the kinship documents and ancestry.com. This was attached to a case that I believe to be me. And then the deed category is placement. And the DEMAR document is judgment. And the recording number is this number. And this is the person that acts for this as the next of kin to whatever. I mean, they're just altering it at will.